Hiya. So this week I'm still behind. I'll get caught up eventually. Maybe. If not, it's not the end of the world. But I've been studying Carl Jung. So I've gone from studying specific attributes and now I'm studying theories in psychology. Because there's some good theories in psychology. And what the closest concept in that is to self-love. And so this week I started Carl Jung theory. And a thing that I was looking to in he talks a lot about self-acceptance and the need to accept ourselves, and including how to embrace our shadow selves. So parts of ourselves that are repressed because they're socially unacceptable. So like greed or anger or violence or ferociousness. So things that you think of that you feel shame about, that you've rejected and hidden because society deems it unfit to be seen. And that doesn't necessarily mean they're all bad things. Sometimes these repressed parts of ourselves are benign and we were trained to hide them. For instance, I don't like crying in front of people. It just felt like it wasn't something okay to do. So that's definitely part of my shadow self. So crying is definitely a piece of myself. So, and there's also this concept that parts of our shadow self can also have light. So if you're angry about something, it can show you have passion. And if you felt like you've been too loud, it can be perceived as something as passionate instead. And I don't have all the examples off the tip of my tongue, but that was something I looked into a lot. And the first step is really discovering what your shadow is. So my question is, what is self-love? How is self-love developed and maintained within that concept or in that theory? And the first step really is discovering what your shadow self looks like. And because it's so well hidden, you can't just look inside and be like, oh, da, da, da. It's something you have to really explore darker sides of yourself in order to discover. So one of the things I thought was interesting is I've been telling stories about my map that I created about shame for my husband. Not for my husband. It's for myself, but I'm telling them to my husband because it's helped me move through some of my shame feelings. And I developed a character named Ian and a character named Shadow. So I've been exploring these two characters. So that's Ian on the tire swing, and that's Shadow up in the tree. So that top part is his head, and then you can see his little fingers. And then he's peeking in at the treehouse. I have my treehouse trial, and he was shyly peeking in. And then he visited Martin, my husband's place, and this is on a tower, top of a tower. It's crouched down. It's been really neat because I've discovered, as I've been telling stories to Martin, I've discovered that there's like almost an underground part of my map that I've shown. So I found a dragon who lives underneath the desert of Palace Perfection. He's pretty cool. His name's Beastie. He's really lackadaisical. There's an island with a castle out in the ocean that has Tychus and Boros. I've just met them, so I'm getting to know them. And I haven't really figured out what all of it means. I'm trying to keep it within the story for right now so it can develop naturally. Because sometimes when I overthink, or when people in general overthink those kinds of things, art within itself can really surface a lot from underneath. And when you are removed from, sorry, there's a bird outside and it's so exciting. When you're kind of made aware of what's going on in the story, everything can hide. And then you can overthink things, and it no longer has the power to reveal what's underneath. So right now I'm really staying in the story. And I don't know how long it'll take. I feel like I need to spend more time before I analyze what everything means. But self-love is definitely important. Self-acceptance. Without accepting ourselves, it creates dissonance in ourselves, according to Carl Jung. And it creates a split. So we have pretty much like two personalities, one that we're not aware of, and ourselves. So as we merge those, we become more whole and centered. And that's the benefit to self-love and self-acceptance, is becoming a whole person with both your light and your shadow. And I really liked the idea that a shadow is only created because light is there. And I believe every person has light and is full of goodness. And so naturally, like most everything, if there's light, there must be dark. And I really enjoyed that concept, and it made accepting and exploring shadow self more less intimidating and less scary. And it's interesting how the idea of shame is kind of interweaving with shadow. And yeah, their connection. That's all I've had for today. Hope you have a good day. Viv loves you.